Hey, it's Angela.
Hey, it's Richie here with week 16 of the NFL season. Um, we'll start off with tallies. Last week she beat me again, 6-5. I was way off on a lot. There were actually some surprises last week and some, just a lot of weird, surprising games. But for this week, there's a lot of interesting games. The playoff chases are. Right, there's still a bunch of teams. Like, we're only 2 weeks out, and the seeds could go. Somebody that's the number 5 could be the number 1 seed by next week. It's crazy. It's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of exciting stuff, a lot of fun stuff. So we'll start with the first one. There's 2 Saturday games. The first Saturday game is the Washington Redskins and the Tennessee Titans. Both teams are in the playoff chase. The Titans are 2 games out, I think, from the last wild card spot. The Redskins are 2 games out as well. Both need to win out and have some people lose. So it's a really, really interesting game. The Redskins, though, are down to their 4th quarterback, who played pretty well last week and leading them to a win, keeping them in the game. The Titans shut out the Giants. Their running back, Derrick Henry, has been awesome the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to give this edge to the Titans to win.
I'll do Titans.
Yeah. So, but like I said, it'll be a fun game. A lot of playoff games, playoff implication games. And the next one is the next Saturday one, the Ravens and the Chargers, a huge one actually, because the Ravens could potentially still win their division. The Chargers could not only win their division, potentially they could be the number 1 seed in the entire AFC, which means they would get a first-round bye and home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. Not just with this win, but this win would help them. They would need the Chiefs to lose a game, at least a game or so. And the Ravens, even if they can't get in with winning the division, they're definitely in play for a wild card spot. If I'm not mistaken, they are in the wild card spot right now as the 6th seed. So this is huge for them either way. The rookie quarterback Lamar Jackson has been playing well. The Ravens have the number 1 defense in the league. But the Chargers, Phillip Rivers, has been great. Their offense has been really good. Their defense is solid. It's not great or bad. It's just kind of there. This is an interesting one. I'm going to go with the Chargers here, though, just because you have a Hall of Fame quarterback on one side and a rookie quarterback on the other. Who's been good, but I'm still going the Chargers.
I guess I'll go for the Chargers.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers.
Sunday game.
It's the first Sunday game. So the Falcons are already eliminated. The Panthers technically are not eliminated from the playoffs, but Cam Newton is hurt, and he will not play the last 2 games. So
even I know that's not good.
Yeah. So that being said, I think this, even if the Panthers lose, if I'm not mistaken, they would be. If they lose, they would technically be then eliminated, and I think that's what will happen. So if Cam were playing, I would probably give them the edge, but I'll go with the Falcons here.
The Falcons don't have a chance right now.
They don't have a chance for the playoffs, so the Falcons are always kind of strong. They have a decent offense, and even though their record doesn't look good, they could beat any team kind of at any time. So.
Well, I'll go with the Panthers. They may try harder since.
Yeah, they still have.
Got that motivation.
Yeah, they still have something to play for technically. So. All right, the Bengals and the Browns. The Browns technically still in a, even though they lost last week. I think they lost. No, they won. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my bad. They won, which kept them alive for a playoff spot, potentially. The Bengals have the backup in. I'll go with the Browns here. This might be kind of even, but the Browns, they won that playoff. That it'll take a lot. They need other teams to lose and stuff, but this is as close as they've been to playoffs, and I think the last time they made the playoffs was like 2002 or 2003, something like that.
I don't know. I'll go for the Browns.
All right, the Bucks and the Cowboys. I have a hard time picking the Bucks. The Cowboys, they're leading their division. They want to get in the playoffs. They did get shut out last week, actually. I don't know though. I just can't have a hard time seeing that. I gotta go to the Cowboys.
I'm gonna go for the home team.
I mean, I want the Bucks to win, but the Cowboys are
I'm gonna
better.
go for the Bucks.
The Vikings and Lions, another game with playoff implications. The Vikings, they have that in the NFC. They have that number 6 seed, right just above the Redskins and above the Philadelphia Eagles, and a couple games above the Panthers. The Lions are tricky. They're okay. They're not like a walkover, but I think the Vikings probably should win.
I'll go for the Vikings too.
Giants and Colts. This is hard because the Colts they're one game out from a wild card spot. They have a really strong team though. They just shut out the Cowboys last week, 23-0. They're playing really, really well, defense and offense and everything. The Giants, I mean, I'm still not a big fan of Eli, but the Giants seem to have shown something, but I'll still go with the Colts. I think the Colts win.
So you think this is and what team has to play for?
The Colts have it. The Giants are out, but they could play a spoiler. So like
It's a spoiler.
Yeah, like let's spoil the season for the Colts. Like
So it wouldn't be an upset.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going for the Giants and I'm going for the upset.
All right, the Jaguars and Dolphins, 2 Florida teams. The Dolphins are better, and the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken, they're still in a spot possibly for a wild card. I gotta think about that because I don't remember seeing them, but I thought they were. I think they are. Either way, I think the Dolphins will win.
Both are Florida teams. I don't know which to pick. And Jacksonville's out?
Yeah, Jacksonville's out. I think Dolphins are still in, but they might be out. But either way, I think the Dolphins are still a better team.
Well, in case they're in, I'll go for the Dolphins.
All right, the Packers and the Bills and the Patriots. The Patriots have actually lost their last 2 games, but the Patriots, they're the number 3 seed now. They want to try to get at least to a number 1 or 2. I doubt they'll get to 1, but they could get to the 2 seed, which means a bye week at least, and 1 playoff game at home. I think the Patriots bounce back. I think they should beat the Bills.
And I'm going for the Bills, so the Patriots don't win.
Packers and Jets. Both teams are out of the playoffs, but I'll go Packers here.
I'll go for the Jets.
All right, Texans and Philly. This is a really big one because the Texans are leading their division. They're trying to. They probably will win their division, but they have a very realistic shot. They're the number 2 seed right now.
Who is?
The Texans. And if they at least can lock up the number 2 seed, that means a first round bye and at least 1 home playoff game. The Eagles are one of those NFC teams. They're 7-7. They're 1 game out from that last wild card spot, so they want to win 2 to try to see if they can sneak in somewhere. This is really big for both teams.
So if Texans win or lose, rather, are they out?
No, if the Texans lose, they're not out.
If
the Eagles lose, they're technically not out. Well, based on, I mean, they might be based on other things that happened during that day, but in theory, they could still be in it if they lose. But they need to win more, but they do have the backup quarterback playing, Nick Foles, but he's the quarterback that led them to the Super Bowl and won last year because their starter got hurt, halfway through the season. He came in, led him to the Super Bowl win, and he's playing again. That being said, the Eagles have struggled a little too much this year, and the Texans are good. I'm gonna go to the Texans.
I'll go for the Texans.
It's a big game. It'll be really interesting to watch, though. The Rams and the Cardinals. The Rams, they kind of struggled the last couple of games, but they're still good, and the Arizona Cardinals are not. So I'm gonna go with the Rams.
All right, I'll go.
And the Rams, are in the number 2 spot in the NFC right now to get a bye week. So if they can't get to number 1, at the very least they want that, to stay there.
I'll go for the Rams.
Niners and Bears. Niners suck. Bears are good and potentially could maybe get a first round bye as well. So I think they'll win.
I'll go for the Bears.
All right, a huge game: the Steelers and Saints. The Steelers are leading their division. They want to get to the playoffs. The Saints are actually leading the NFC right now. They're the number 1 seed, and they want to stay ahead of the Rams to try to get a bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Steelers did just beat the Patriots last week, though. So this could go either way. It's 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Roethlisberger for the Steelers, Drew Brees for the Saints.
So they're probably pretty even?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
More or less?
Pretty much. They're both good teams, but good organizations, good players, good whatever. I give this edge, though, to the Saints. I think they're slightly better.
I guess, competition. I'll go for the Steelers.
I mean, it could go that way, too. I wasn't sure the Steelers would beat the Patriots, but they did. All right, and the last game on Sunday, another huge game for playoffs for both teams, the Chiefs and the Seahawks. The Chiefs are right now the number 1 seed in the AFC, but if they lose and the Chargers win, the Chargers could take over that spot and drop to the Chiefs from number 1 to number 5, I think, basically, like with everything going on in between. The Seahawks have the number 5 spot right now on the wild card. They won't win their division, but they want to at least maintain that wild card spot. They could, if they lose out and the other NFC teams win out, they could even just get knocked out of the playoffs altogether, you know what I mean? And this is one losable game for the Seahawks. The Chiefs are really good. The Chiefs have actually already clinched a playoff spot, period. So even if the Chiefs lose out and don't get that number 1 seed, don't win the division, they're still going to be in the playoffs in some way. The Seahawks have not clinched anything. They're in the best spot at this moment, but after this game, they may not be.
If they lose?
If they lose, yeah. Depending on what else happens on Sunday with other teams. On record, this looks easy Chiefs. But the Seahawks, it's Russell Wilson. He's one of those really good quarterbacks you can't ever count out, especially now in crunch time. That being said, I'll still go with the Chiefs, though.
And I will go for the Seahawks.
Yeah. So a lot of huge games this weekend. A lot of playoff potential implication games. Pretty much every single game is some kind of, has some kind of playoff implications. Except the Packers and Jets, actually. And if I'm not mistaken, if the Dolphins are still alive, that one. But actually looking at it all, every single game has some kind of playoff implication in some way, except for the Packers and Jets. So
even the Bucks?
Because the Cowboys, they're leading a division, but they could potentially not win their division. If the Bucks were to lose or win, and the Eagles or Redskins win, then they would all be tied for first. So I don't know who would get the tiebreaker then. But a lot of big games this weekend. Next week will be the last weekend. Next weekend's the last week of the regular season. Then the playoffs start.
Oh, in January.
Yeah. And then we're still doing the bowl games for the college. Bowl games are going on all this week. We'll put up week 2, quote unquote, of the bowls by next week. We probably won't. You may not see videos with us again until after Christmas. Maybe one right before Christmas with the bowl games. If not, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
But check out for more content. Check out for the bowls. Peace.